Hello Stampers, this is Super Awesome Stamper Shirley Merker. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Wisconsin, USA. I am going live today to share a hand stamp greeting card made using the Fern Embossing Folder from the Sun Print Suite. So let me switch you to my table and we'll get started with the project. Cover your eyeballs if you get dizzy because I have to do the manual flipping myself. All right, so you should see my workstation, and I do need to strap you into my camera phone stand, and then just do some adjusting to make sure you can see everything on the screen. If anybody's watching, add a comment to the chat, and please be nice. No trolls allowed, right? Okay, so this is the card that we will be making. So you can see I used the Fern Embossing Folder, and I am going to take a minute and make sure that, yep, I can see myself and I can see my chat. So if anybody has any comments or questions, feel free to add them and we'll try to address them as we go along here. All right, so first thing up is the Fern Embossing Folder is from the Sun Print Suite. And at first glance, when you open up to the suite page, you see all this blue, and you don't think ferns, even though the Fern Embossing Folder is part of the suite, right there. So I don't think I've ever seen blue ferns. There's bluish, darkish green ferns with maroon tones that I've seen in my area, but never blue ferns, just blue ferns like that. So we need to make our paper actually be green fernish-like, which is what I'm used to. Now, using a garden green card base, I cut a piece of this pattern paper. So you can see this side I don't particularly care for. This other side's got some beautiful ferns on it. So this is a good choice to actually use with our embossing folder. Now, we're going to try something different than what the sample is. So for the sample, I put the piece of pattern paper on this side. Inked up this side of the embossing folder for the card that I'm going to be doing for you. And when I ink that up, you can see the green is in between all of the ferns. I want to actually get the greens on the ferns. So I need to ink up this side, which is the side that has the copyright on it, and put the pattern paper down that I want the ferns to show up. So let's do this together and see if my thinking is correct. I'm going to use the garden green ink pad. And all I'm going to do is run it on the embossing folder. Okay. Then I'm going to put the pattern paper down that I want to see the green fern on. Oop, I don't think I did enough. Just barely. Let's get some more at the top there. Okay, pattern paper down that I want to see the fern on. Try not to smear it. And press down. Then we're going to run this through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So here's my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. We've got our plates on here, and it says how to stack your plates. This is, let me see here. This is a thicker one, so this is a 3D embossing folder. So we use a plate 1, which is this one. The embossing folder goes in next with the paper, and then the plate 4. So plate 4 is this darker gray one. I'm going to tilt my embossing folder a little bit so it's got a little bit of opportunity to grab the folder before we actually put all the weight or the stress on the machine. So we're going to roll it through. And all I'm doing is grabbing my handle and rolling it through. And you're getting dizzy with the movement of the machine. Move that to the side. Come back, finish our sandwich, and we'll see if what I thought would happen. So I'm hoping the ferns are actually green and not the negative space. And they are, voila. So can you see the difference? The fern actually has the green and not the negative space that I have on the sample. Either one's pretty, but I think this is more realistic. All right, so all I'm going to do is to clean off my embossing folder is run it through my sink, my wash tub, and it will come, it will just dry, air dry. I'll kind of blot it with a paper towel to get it clean. Okay, if anybody's watching, add a comment or do pound replay if you're watching on replay. All right, so next up here, I usually put my sample over to the left-hand side, and then we're gonna start assembling. So inside's just the white piece. Oh, and see what I did here? I may have to come back through and do that later. So I actually embossed the inside piece. So let's just set that aside for now. I won't have you go through that with me. Another second jiggle. Okay, and then the inside or outside is just going to be the layer of pattern paper. This is from the Sun Prints pattern paper pack. And then I just went into my scrap bin and got some of these strips of gray granite, which is the color of the pattern paper. So one's just going to go there. And I'll show you the strips are also good for these smaller die cuts. So in the Nature's Prints die cut collection, here's the collection. There are these two longer foliage pieces. So they will just fit on these strips, and I've already rolled them through. If you have strips that aren't quite wide, just be aware of where you're going to stick your adhesive. So I placed it behind this tag. So if the strip isn't quite wide enough, cuts off maybe that center one, that will be okay because nobody would see that. All right. So I crossed them like this and just placed them right there. So let's just add a little bit of glue where I think they're going to go. Right there, and right there. Okay, and that'll secure that in place. All right, next, before I do any more, anything else, I'm going to stamp. So look at that, all of my stamps are on blocks, and I forgot I was going to stamp this Best Wishes with you, so I need to go find that block. It's right there. And I generally have scraps. Now I must have created some scraps since I designed this card. So here's a longish scrap. I need it about here. Okay. And I can close this up because I don't want to get ink everywhere. All right, I'll bring back my die cutting set. This is the one I'm going to need. And we'll run that through the embossing machine. I won't jiggle the camera for you, so you'll just need to talk amongst yourselves while I do this. It'll be positioned about like that. I'm trying to line up the straight edge of the die cut with the straight line of Happy Thoughts. Move that over a little bit. And I apologize for not doing that ahead of time. I normally have swap outs. I failed to remember I was going to run it through twice. All right, so I don't have a magnetic platform, which we just started selling. So my trick is to use a Post-it note to hold that in place. And there we go, perfectly cut. All right, glue right here. And then our last little thing is to make a tiny bit of ribbon. So this is the twill ribbon. It comes 2 in a package, and one of them is the old olive. So all I did was take a little bit of our linen thread. I like doing this a lot with our linen thread or baker's twine. I just make a faux bow. So I tie a knot with that linen thread. This is an easier way to make smaller bows too, instead of trying to do bunny ears. Okay, and then you can make your tails as long as you'd like. And then decide how you want your ends. I'm going to have them both being cut off at the same angle. All right, now that's going to want to slip a little bit because this is twill tape and has a sheen to it. So the trick to make this not hold is to put it on a glue dot. And then use that glue dot to attach it to the bottom. And there we've got our hand stamped greeting cards. So from a suite that's totally all blue, we changed the look of the pattern paper by adding garden green ink to the embossing folder, running it through. Got 2 different looks. One side, which is this side, if you put ink on the Stampin' Up side, that's the look you get. If you put ink on the copyright side, this is the look you get. And then again, we'll just run that embossing folder through the tap water to clear it off. All right, so there are a few things I wanted to do before we signed off. I've got my host code here. If you'd like to place an order by May 25th using that host code at my online store, sjsinks.stampinup.net, I will enter you into a drawing to receive the June 2022 Paper Pumpkin. So in this month's Paper Pumpkin, they gave us a little sneak peek for what's included. Greeting cards will be included, and they will be probably featured with fruit and flowers. It says, summer picnics, fresh bread, and flowers all make up wonderfully whimsical memories. Next month's, the June 2022 Paper Pumpkin Kit will have you drooling over watercolor designs and heartfelt sentiments. Be sure to subscribe to get your pick of the crop box, or you can be entered to possibly win a box from me by placing an order using my host code right there, CMNF7JTH, by May 25th, 2022, through my online store at sjsinks.stampinup.net. All right, and then you can also access my online store and this host code through my blog at superawesomestamper.com. Last, I'm going to give you a little catalog tour. So Sunprint's suite or collection is where I got the products from. So here's the stamp set and the die set. Remember, if you purchase using this bundle item number, you get 10% off the stamp set and the dies. You can also purchase using the suite item number. You'll still get 10% off the stamp set and the dies, but included in that bundle item number is also the Fern Embossing Folder, which I used, and the Sunprint's Designer Series paper, which I used as well. The cardstock that I used was the basic white and also the gray granite, right there. And the ribbons. So the ribbons I mentioned are the Old Olive and the Sahara Sand Twill. So I just used a Sahara Sand this time. And then the linen ribbon is right there. And then if you want to just purchase the dies on their own, you are able to do that way back on 165. And the Fern 3D Embossing Folder as well, page 176. All right, the very last thing I want to touch base on with you is Stampin' Up! Is offering a promotion through the end of May 2022, where you get a bundle of in color products in your welcome kit. So it's $66.50 worth of products included in your $99 starter kit. Starter kits enjoy free shipping, so there's that bonus savings there. You just pay tax on the starter kit. So what's included in the starter kit for this month for bonus products are the in color ink pads 2022 to 2024. So all 5 of them that will be included in your starter kit. A package of the 2022 to 2024 cardstock will be included. A package of the In Color Designer Series paper assortment is included, and also a package of the Stampin' Up! Grid paper in the In Color designs. So this grid paper that I feature in my videos, we sell that as well, but they are including the In Colors pad in your welcome kit. So if you have any questions about what it means to be a demonstrator, please contact me through my blog. There's a contact button there, and you can ask me what it means to be a demonstrator on my team and how I support you. If you have any other questions, shoot me a message through my blog at superawesomestamper.com. You can join under me through my online store. There's a join button there. And also at my blog at superawesomestamper.com, there are links to join under me as well. So I hope you enjoyed my YouTube live video demonstration featuring the Sun Prints collection. And we'll stamp with you soon. Bye.